A new wave of the outbreak has recently resurfaced in Zhengzhou City. It has affected Foxconn's plant in the city, which is the world's largest factory for Apple iPhones, employing more than 300,000 people at its peak. On October 30th and 31st, many employees fled from Foxconn and planned to return to their hometowns on foot. They either climbed over the fence or left without saying goodbye. According to the video's estimate of a fleeing employee, more than 10,000 have fled. Foxconn's mass exodus has triggered a public outcry, and the Zhengzhou government subsequently made a statement that they would help employees return to their hometowns and ordered the partial lifting of the lockdown. So the mass exodus continues. So many people have left tonight. It's too hard. Some people didn't even take their luggage. They just brought some food with them. It's so hard. Look, this is the highway out of Zhengzhou. A large number of workers are walking with their luggage. Many of them contacted their hometowns together for a fleet, so they just need to take the following exit off this highway to meet up with the fleets from other counties and cities. The fleets can take them back home. On some sections of the road, there are large trucks blocking the road, trying to intercept the workers. Across the street from Foxconn employees, a human wall of special police in white hazmat suits is standing by. What would happen? People didn't stop, signaling their determination that no one could stop them from going home. Some employees later explained that because so many people left Foxconn, the SWAT team was temporarily overwhelmed. Later, the police officers simply adjusted their roles to escort people. Do you see? We walk a stretch and the armed police escort a stretch. The special police escort a stretch. We walk a stretch and they escort a stretch, just to keep us from going home. On November 1st, Foxconn announced that the daily attendance incentive to those who have remained at Foxconn's Zhengzhou plant would be quadrupled from about $13.70 per day to about $55 per day. This is to quickly resolve employee frustration caused by the chaotic anti-epidemic control measures, discourage the idea of employees leaving the plant or returning home on foot, and make every effort to retain the workers needed for production. But it seems to have had little effect.
I ran out. I got out. It said there will be fleets here in Tiancheng. I dragged my suitcase here. Even the suitcase was worn out. It's so hard. I got here, but there aren't any vehicles here. Only some signs. The signs for Jiaozuo and for Zhoukou. They're just signs, but no vehicles. I called the township government. They told me there were no vehicles for pickup. If you want to go back, you must find your own way back. And then this person with the speaker keeps telling you, if you don't go back to your hometown, You can earn about $70 a day and about $1,400 a month. Look how many people are here. Back in the dorm at the factory, they asked me to do a nucleic acid test, which I did. As they say, if you take the test, and staff who do the test will definitely put 10 or 20 people's samples in one test tube. So the probability of mixing them up is very high, so you still can't leave. Now, even if you want to leave, you can't leave anyway. Yesterday, too many people left, because if the government doesn't do anything, people will definitely all be gone. So they're trying to think of every possible way to keep you. But then, for those who want to leave, you still won't be able to keep them. I'll have a look at it again.
So what triggered the Foxconn employee mass escape? On October 29th, Chinese social media widely spread the news that all 8 people in room 726 of Foxconn's Zhengzhou factory dorm were dead. In a circulated video, a woman kept banging her legs in the night and screaming, "Room 726, my gosh." From the sound of her voice, one can imagine that she was in great shock and sounded terrified. Hello everyone, this is room 726 as described online. This is the seal affixed to it, dated November 29th. This is rather shocking because most of Foxconn's employees are young people. After the news broke out, it triggered a wave of employees fleeing. However, the Honghai Group and several Chinese media said that the video about the Room 726 case online was found to be one that had been maliciously edited, and there was no related death in the Zhengzhou campus. And Honghai also solemnly clarified that the outside world shouldn't spread fake news. The video they denied isn't the one we just aired. So far, we haven't found any organization to clarify or offer an explanation for the above video. Young people in Zhengzhou are helping to share the video about the Room 726 story. They have been banned. This girl is one of them who doesn't feel comfortable showing her face. She is still actively speaking out for her peers. To avoid censorship on social media in China, she used the term "that place" to refer to Foxconn in Zhengzhou.
I've been suspended for 24 hours. I've been posting videos. I'm not too old. Why do I want to post these videos? It's because many kids who are as old as I am are mandatorily required to be sent to that place by their schools. They are as old as I am. They are not there to make money. They're forced to, because the school won't release the graduation certificate unless they go there for their internship. Many of them are vocational secondary school students who are 19 or 20 years old. They are only secondary school students. People can go and take notice of this. Watch how many vocational secondary school students have been sent there by their schools in order to get their graduation certificates. Many young people from Kaifeng are working there. My friends who are interning in that place told me that sometimes even when they are sick there, they still have to go to work. Otherwise, there's no food if they don't go to work, because only at work will they be given lunch boxes. In the dorm, there's no food. They have to scramble for food if there is any, and the food is spoiled.
As early as October 26th, about 20,000 Foxconn employees were quarantined. Not only did they have no room to move around, but they were also deprived of medication and food. They were denied medical treatment even for symptoms, making their situation very difficult. Foxconn hands out meals, one meal for a room of 6 people. 6 people are quarantined in this room, and only one lunchbox. Also, there are videos showing multiple people in quarantine dorms lying in bed with a fever, but no one comes to take care of them. Under such circumstances, it is understandable that rumors about room 726 in the dormitory would be widely spread and accepted. The less transparent the information, the more likely it is to provoke panic.
Now I'm running a fever, so severe that I can only sit on the floor. All I can do is sit on the floor. I can't get through to anyone on the phone right now. I met a woman from our factory management downstairs. She told me to ask the property management, see what they would say, then send the recording to her. The property management said I should use Meituan to buy meals from a designated place, and it will be delivered. I looked up the distance, and the quickest it would take to get here was 40 minutes. And I have to download it too. And I don't know how to make a purchase. Now, isn't this going to drive people to death? I have a fever and can't even sit on a stool, let alone climb to bed. Look, this bed is so high, I can't even get out there.
Everyone take a look at this Foxconn. The employees went to work and then returned to the dormitory, seeing all the things in the dormitory were thrown away, all thrown out of the dormitory, and now their belongings can't be found. This is what Foxconn does. Look, every dormitory is cleaned up and cleaned out. No matter if people are working or not, their belongings are all thrown out. This is what Foxconn has done. There are rumors that in one of Foxconn's quarantine sites, the Rotten Tail building of Evergrande, the special police have been moved in and the employees cannot escape. This is the Evergrande Future Light Tower. The government has taken it over. The SWAT team is here. They arrived here today. For Foxconn, its employees' exodus isn't all bad, because the employees have to be quarantined. The factory is responsible for salaries, food, and quarantine costs, which are very costly and the company can barely afford it effectively. In the early morning of October 30th, the party secretary of Foxconn Zhengzhou posted a public message saying that there were more than 200,000 people in Foxconn's Zhengzhou plant. And after the outbreak, Foxconn tried its best to mobilize resources internally in an effort to handle the situation. But due to little external support, the company was unable to shore up the situation alone and had to concede to let the employees in the plant go home on their own. The woman challenged everyone in response to outside criticism that Foxconn has failed to secure supplies. She questioned how long and at what cost it took to control the outbreak in your city. She wrote that in the past, when a city government was in charge of the matter, what did you ever receive during that period except for the occasional token bag of vegetables? Did the government ever provide 3 meals a day for everyone? This woman is telling the truth, and it is precisely what the current Chinese government is doing in terms of epidemic prevention and control. It was supposed to be the responsibility of the central and local governments at all levels to implement the zero-COVID policy, starting from taking responsibility as the main body to assuming obligations and supplying materials, but instead, they have shifted all the responsibilities and conflicts to businesses and companies. Despite the fact that the Red Chinese government has powerful censorship capability, it can't completely block off all the relevant information in today's information age. At the end of the 20th Congress of the CCP, the Foxconn exodus sparked the attention of the international mainstream media and received widespread public support domestically, which put pressure on the Zhengzhou municipal government. So it's urgently trying to find solutions. The special police officers we saw earlier who tried to intercept the employees should be one of the countermeasures. By the night of November 1st, Foxconn employees found themselves in an even more tense atmosphere. How many workers are there at Foxconn? More than 300,000? What do these people do? They are supposed to be sent to isolation. It is quite likely that once I have experienced this, I won't come back next time. You can still buy food outside, but can't go outside anymore. There's basically nothing to buy inside. Now, even if you have the money, it's hard to buy stuff. That's why everyone is fighting for things. So now they start roll call. I guess the vehicle will be coming soon. There's a signal jamming vehicle below. It's used to block the signal. Now my only wish is to go home. This is Foxconn. These people are ready to go. We are trying to think of all possible ways to get home. I'm dreaming of going home at night. I'm so scared now. My heart is panicking. I dream of going home at night. On November 2nd, the Zhengzhou municipal government came up with a better solution. That is, to introduce a more extensive citywide lockdown. On that day, the government ordered that due to the severity of the new outbreak, Zhengzhou Airport Economy Zone, where Foxconn's factory is located, be put under a 7-day lockdown starting from noon on November 2nd. It's impacting more than 600,000 people living in the area. Officials said that all businesses in the area must work from home and only critical businesses are allowed to operate normally. Only ambulances and trucks carrying essential goods are allowed to drive on the streets of the area. The more than 600,000 residents of the zone are required to undergo daily nucleic acid testing. The local government warned that all kinds of violations will be severely punished. Official media from the Zhengzhou municipal government reported that the local government would thoroughly disinfect Foxconn's Zhengzhou plant in the next 3 days, including employee dormitories. Employees who have been quarantined must show proof of negative nucleic acid tests for 7 consecutive days before they can leave the plant and return to their hometowns. This sudden lockdown is another indication of the risks posed by the CCP's zero-COVID policy, which could further disrupt Foxconn's main base of operations. The ban could cut off the flow of additional workers and production parts in the region, while factories are looking to ramp up production during the year-end holiday season. Foxconn told Reuters in a later statement that the Zhengzhou factory campus continues to operate under a closed-loop management system. Although authorities have announced a 7-day lockdown, it is unclear whether Foxconn's Zhengzhou plant will be able to stockpile enough parts to sustain operations for a period of time, not to mention communist officials elsewhere often extend the lockdown willfully. According to Counterpoint senior analyst Ivan Lam, Bloomberg reports that Foxconn's Zhengzhou plant is responsible for 80% of the iPhone 14 series production capacity, which includes more than 85% of the iPhone 14 Pro production.